What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really been moving Lucid today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, Lucid is down 3.37%, 6.5 million shares being traded, 18.6 is the average. So relatively low volume. We'll just have to wait and see what does happen during power hour and obviously the tail part of the day. And that's because institutions would be rebalancing their portfolios. Today is the last trading day in Q2. So right now there's only been one transaction on the secondary market above $100,000. So not necessarily the best. And right now the broader market, or I guess more specifically growth stocks, are pulling back, and that is because of PCE. So PCE did come out in line with expectations exactly, and I think the market is still not really satisfied with that. They were wanting it lower, which of course would show more of a curbing with inflation, because the Feds like to use PCE as a true indicator rather than CPI. So in essence, this isn't the best data. So again, like I've said in previous videos, everything is correlated with interest rates and people just want cuts. So as you can kind of see right here, I'll just hit refresh. So as you can see, as of the September meeting, there is a 59.5% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So that's gone up slightly from, I think it was like 57 or 58 as of yesterday, and a 6.4% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. So still, I think it's good, but maybe people were anticipating, I guess, very, very good data to justify for the July 31st meeting cuts during then. So it's really messed up. And there was a couple analysts that did come out and kind of spoke on this exact point, how the market is so focused on monetary policy that they're kind of neglecting companies actually doing good. And it's a really messed up scenario. And right now, like I said, there's been absolutely nothing associated to Lucid. So it's just been piggybacking off of the broader market. Even looking on social media, like they're not really putting anything out of substance, no real reason to buy Lucid, and it looks like they're just kind of resorting to retweeting stuff. And whoever's managing their I guess social media and whatever, you can tell it has changed, because they started to repost individuals kind of originals, and they started to like a lot of comments. So things like whoever's managing it is definitely being a little bit more active, so I think that's overall good. But still, needless to say, I think Lucid does need a catalyst. And right now, the next big catalyst is for Lucid is going to be rate cuts. And so that would be potentially in September / the gravity. So probably it'll come back to back, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what does come. And maybe institutions are clearly waiting for one of those two catalysts to come to fruition before they do commit. Right now, shorts aren't doing all that much. They're increasing 11,000 shares. Looking at the intraday though, for that, they started off by increasing about 500,000 shares, slowly returning right now. And even once I hit refresh, it looks like they're now returning about 6,000 or 7,000 shares. Still kind of a drop in the bucket overall. 28.86% of the free float being shorted, works out to be 255.6 million shares overall being shorted, and then utilization is 96.55. When it comes to Lucid though, like they do get a lot of good reviews, but I always find it weird how even when it comes down to articles, like when it comes for like the stock itself, nobody seems to like it. Like just going back over here, so a lot of articles are very, very negative, talking on cash burn, how it's just going down. Even popping over to 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, looking at everything correlated to Lucid, and it's talking on how they're burning too much cash. They're going to be doing more dilution in the foreseeable future, how it's going to be potentially impacting their expansion plans. There's just so much negativity out there when it comes to associated to Lucid. It's very, very weird. And as of late, there's been no analyst ratings either. So the last one was done, where was it, last month? last month, in fact. So $3, $4, $3.20. So even analysts are kind of just overlooking Lucid. So it'd be really nice for Lucid to get some good attention, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I don't know what it's going to take for Lucid to finally move higher and break out. I think there was a lot of optimism when it did open up this morning, because it did have a high, as you can kind of see, of $2.72. So it was showing that it was alive. Even in the pre-market, it was holding its gains and kind of was pointing that it was going to go up. But this is just, I don't know, unjustified in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts on that. Looking at options though, so the market's been open like 2.5 hours, but 82,000 in calls and 92,000 in puts, very evenly divided sentiment wise. So 53% of all the options being done today were so far bearish. And just, I think the dollar value getting into Lucid through options isn't necessarily there all that much. And on a side note though, especially with it close to a $2.50 strike price, this is very advantageous to learn options if you guys haven't already, because if you do really like Lucid and you were going to buy around this time period or at this price point, just sell $2.50 puts. Very advantageous. So if it does stay above that, then you basically get to keep your premium. If it goes below that, then you buy it at $2.50, which you were going to do regardless. So highly suggesting kind of researching options. But nonetheless, looking at the call options that are being purchased, so you do see a consensus, oddly enough, for it to be above 350 by the end of next week. And when it comes down to that, I'm not really sure where that is coming from. I don't know if there's a catalyst that is planned for the end of next week. So let me know if there's anything that comes to mind on what might be coming out next week. I don't think usually Lucid does it third week of July. That is going to be when they unveil their Q2 numbers, but maybe people are anticipating for it to come out sooner. Again, I'm not really sure. Looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $2.50. And then hopefully you do see a nice bump up during power hour associated to institutions rebalancing their portfolios. But as of right now, with it currently at $2.59, it is still in this S1 to the pivot range, so relatively good stuff. At least it's holding. So $2.56 is a very strong support. And then flip side, $2.89. And so far, when it's been in this range, it actually hasn't touched this pivot point yet. So it's just been orienting and flirting around this S1. So going into the next several trading days, just watch for that S1 to hold. On the flip side, on the actual chart itself, so it was attempting to transition from the lower to the higher percentile and plus get above that 50-day moving average, but unfortunately no dice, so it is bouncing off of that. And that's one thing I really do like about Lucid. I got to give it to them. In the past, when it wants to get above a very key resistance level, and in this case, it's the 50-day moving average, it pounds at the door and relentlessly. I've brought that up in the past because when it comes down to normal stocks, once it does bounce off or hits a strong resistance, it consolidates and tries again. But you can kind of see literally Lucid just pounds at the damn door. I'll see if I can quickly find another instance of that. I know they've generally done that quite a lot when it has flirted around that 50-day moving average. It just pounds and pounds and pounds at the door. And usually I always struggles with that, but I don't know, hopefully early next week it'll be able to successfully get above that 50-day moving average again, and then hopefully hit that $2.89 resistance, and then from there it's just going to be $3 plus. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend ahead of them. And with all that, and actually, sorry, one final thing, take advantage of this promo. It's only up until July 31st though, so you do get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000 just for depositing $100. So this is an amazing deal. Make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.